Nebraska gets its own movie, we review Silver Linings Playbook, and we have an exclusive behind-the-scenes look at Hastings Museum's lead super screen theater. This is Campus Cinema. Welcome once again to Campus Cinema. I'm your host, Patrick White, and as always, we've got another bodacious show in store for you. Let's kick things off right by checking the blockbuster buzz. Director Alexander Payne's upcoming film Nebraska was officially given a release date this week. The movie will be released nationwide on November 22nd after premiering at the Cannes Film Festival in May. While Payne is best known around the country for his Academy Award-winning films Sideways and The Descendants, he is probably best known locally as a Nebraska native. Payne was born and raised in Omaha and went on to attend Stanford University. Nebraska filmed this past year in Norfolk, Plainview, and Lincoln. This will be Payne's fourth movie set in the state. Nebraska stars Bruce Dern and Will Forte as a father and son who travel from Montana to Lincoln so the father can claim a $1 million sweepstake prize he's convinced he's won. Because the world needs more giant fighting robots, Transformers 4 continues to move through pre-production. The franchise had already announced that Shia LaBeouf's character would no longer be the human focal point, with Mark Wahlberg taking over. And on Wednesday, Paramount Pictures announced that Kelsey Grammer has signed on as the non-robot villain. The four-time Emmy Award winner will play an evil counterintelligence agent. In other movie news, the movie musical Annie is receiving a modern update. The remake will be venturing away from the 80s movie, which featured a freckled and curly redhead. The new film will star Beasts of the Southern Wild's Quvenzhané Wallis as the title character. And this week it was announced that Jamie Foxx is in talks to play Daddy Warbucks. The film will be produced by Will Smith and directed by Easy A director Will Gluck. Annie is on track for a December 2014 release. Looking at last weekend's theatrical releases, Pain and Gain and The Big Wedding both debuted around the country and in Hastings. Pain and Gain is Michael Bay's true story account of three Florida bodybuilders who get caught up in an extortion ring and kidnapping scheme that goes terribly wrong. The macho men include Mark Wahlberg, Dwayne Johnson, and Anthony Mackie. It's also Michael Bay's first non-Transformer film in 8 years. The film polarized critics. Some found the frenetic action and zany dialogue to be highly entertaining. Others found the whole ordeal to be more pain than gain. Betsy Sharkey of the LA Times had this to say about Pain and Gain. It makes for some stupid slapstick fun of the Stooges variety. That is, if Larry, Curly, and Moe had been hunky gym rats engaged in illegal activity. The Big Wedding was greeted almost unanimously around the country as a big letdown. The film follows a long-divorced couple that must fake being married in order to ensure peace at their adopted son's wedding. The movie has an all-star cast that includes Robert De Niro, Robin Williams, Katherine Heigl, and many more. But there was little they could do to save The Big Wedding. Chris Bumbray of Joe Blow had this to say about the film. This is like a bad 80s sitcom with the characters acting in a way that suggests the film was written by aliens who have only ever heard humans speak through watching DVDs they found in a trash bin outside a suburban Walmart. Pain and Gain gave a decent box office performance this weekend. The film finished in first with $20 million. Compared to Michael Bay's past mega blockbusters such as Transformers, Armageddon, and Pearl Harbor, the numbers look weak. But the low-budget black comedy was only produced for $26 million, which will equal a healthy profit in the long run. The same can't be said for The Big Wedding. It was no party at the box office, as the film only earned $7.5 million to finish in fourth behind Oblivion and 42. Turning now to DVD and Blu-ray releases, The Guilt Trip, Broken City, and Silver Linings Playbook were the three major films to hit store shelves on Tuesday. The Guilt Trip and Broken City bombed at the box office during their theatrical releases over the winter, both with critics and audiences. The Guilt Trip stars Seth Rogen as an inventor who embarks on a road trip with his mom, Barbara Streisand. Broken City stars Mark Wahlberg as an ex-cop who seeks revenge after being double-crossed by the corrupt city mayor played by Russell Crowe. Lastly, we have the romantic comedy Silver Linings Playbook. The Academy Award-winning film stars Bradley Cooper and Jennifer Lawrence as two people suffering from mental illnesses that find solace in each other's company. Silver Linings Playbook was a hit with critics and fans alike. And now, it's our movie of the week. It's time for some real talk.
How'd you lose your job?
Having sex with everybody in the office.
Everybody?
I was very depressed after Tommy died. It was a lot of people.
We don't have to talk about it.
Thanks.
How many were there?
11.
Wow.
I know.
I'm not going to talk about it anymore.
Okay.
Can I ask you one more question? Were there any women?
I'm joined now by our guests, Laura Bernero, Jared Buskirk, and Will Amio. This is their inaugural appearance on our show. All right, let's talk Silver Linings Playbook. What did everyone think of the movie? Jared, we're going to start with you.
I loved it. It was probably, I always rank movies as much as I can. It's really an unofficial system, but for me, Silver Linings was my second favorite film. Zero Dark 30 was my favorite. I liked it just a bit better than Lincoln, and obviously just not quite as well as Zero Dark 30, but yeah, overall, one of my favorites from the last year.
Excellent. Laura?
I also really liked it. I think because it was unlike a lot of other movies that I had watched in that year. I guess there was a lot of layers in that movie. There's a lot of different issues going on. It's complex and yet it's relatable and funny, and so I definitely enjoyed it as well.
Excellent. Will?
Well, I found it really relatable, and I really enjoyed that. I thought the writing was done very well. I thought the cinematography was done very well, both from the entertainment and production side. It really melded well together and produced a really pleasing finish, and this one actually made it into my top 25.
Excellent.
Cool.
Well, the film was nominated for 8 Academy Awards, won in all 4 acting categories, including a Best Actress win for Jennifer Lawrence. What did you all think of the performances in the film? Let's start with Will.
I loved all of the acting, to be honest. Even down to the neighborhood kid down the block. He played his role just as well as he could and just as well as it should have been. I thought the supporting actors did a fantastic job, and of course, Bradley Cooper and Jennifer Lawrence did an incredible job.
Mm-hmm. Did you know that the kid was actually David O. Russell's son?
I had no idea.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's why I'm paid the big bucks. Laura, what did you think of the acting?
I agree. I thought it was very well done. Some of my favorite characters were Bradley Cooper's parents in the film.
Absolutely.
I mean, as supporting actors, they both did an excellent job of handling the issue of mental illness in the film, as well as kind of portraying a lot of family issues. You know, just kind of the tension of having a son move back home with them, and of kind of navigating the waters of mental illness and things like that, and you know, just kind of being your average American parents, you know, navigating a situation like that. The way I saw it, they handled that really well.
No, you just up. I don't know what that is. Are you taking the proper dosage of your medication?
Am I taking the right dose? Of course I am.
Okay. Taking a little bit too many or something? Or...
No, if I was taking that, I'd be on the floor, Dad.
I completely agree. And Robert De Niro, a big name actor, but still was able to pull off this very human, you know, father.
Definitely.
He wasn't larger than life. Jared, what did you think?
Yeah, to echo what everyone else has said, it was some of my favorite performances as far as what I saw that year, especially from De Niro, who's sadly going back in the direction right now that he was before that movie of making these terrible movies. But the fact that he was able to prove he still had it, I mean, that was one of the moments in the movie that made me tear up. It was this heart-to-heart with Bradley Cooper's character, and also just going in being like, that's Bradley Cooper, the guy from The Hangover? And yeah, that was just great seeing that initial stage of, I'm not trying to get used to this, and then you just go with it.
Well, the movie does balance a lot of emotions, ranging from romance to comedy and drama. So how do you think the film handled all of those ranges in terms of emotion? Let's start with Jared.
I thought it did exceptionally well in that area because it did it so seamlessly. I remember you and I discussed how Flight tried doing that in a way, but the reception that it got showed that it didn't do it perfectly.
Right.
It tried covering a lot of emotions and a lot of themes, but some of them were a little messy in the way they fit together. I think the magic of Silver Linings Playbook is that it goes from comedy to drama to dysfunctional family, saga. But it does that so easily while remaining the same thing the whole time, which is impossibly hard.
Laura, what did you think?
Yeah, I agree. I think that, like I was saying before, the film has so many layers, and yet at the end you come away from it feeling somehow lighthearted and you know, just kind of satisfied with how everything shook out. Not in a way that was cliche. You know, everything just kind of worked together really well. I thought that Jennifer Lawrence's performance conveyed just the right amount of kookiness. Her and Bradley Cooper's relationship was just strange enough. You know, they both were just desperate enough, both seeking something that the fact that they found each other and their kind of repartee made for just the right amount of kookiness and humor that at the end you were totally rooting for them.
You have poor social skills. You have a problem.
I have a problem? You say more inappropriate things than appropriate things.
I couldn't agree with you more. Yeah, Will?
I thought that the film pulled off this impossible line of being very organic, and I think that the director, David O. Russell, had to put a lot of forethought into that, and I think that's why he cast such an incredible cast, because he knew that he needed actors to jump from being, you know, completely outrageous to fighting even physically at times to being soft and gentle and very intimate at the end, which is incredible that A, he decided to go through with it, and B, that he pulled it off so beautifully.
Yeah. You guys have voiced all my opinions on it as well. I love De Niro's performance. Their chemistry is beautiful, and I couldn't agree with you more. Russell really pulls off, you know, taking these larger-than-life actors, like I said, and pulling them back and allowing them to do these real human emotions, which is not easy. So thanks for your input, guys. Now what we're going to do is play Professor, and you're going to give it a grade for Silver Linings Playbook. So go ahead and pull out your notebooks and your markers, and go right ahead and put down your grade. All right, are we ready to go?
Think so?
I think I'm going to start with Laura because we hadn't heard from you first. So
All right.
Go for it.
I went ahead and gave the film an A-, only because it was, I didn't expect it to win as many awards as it did, I guess, and I think that that the performances by all of the actors were very well done. I mean, it definitely deserves the A, I think, and for just being unexpected and for being such a successful film, dealing with so many different emotions and layers.
Will, let's jump down to you.
I gave it an A, of course. I really enjoyed the film on a purely entertainment scale. I also really enjoyed the organic feel of the whole thing. It was very well paced, it was very well edited, and I couldn't see it being done any other way than the way it was completed, so A in my book.
Right on. Jared?
For me, I did an A as well. For the performances, for the direction, and for the fact that it's probably the only romantic comedy that I've ever liked. That's my justification.
Right. And I went full A+ because it's more to me than a movie. I had one of the best emotional connections with my parents while in the theater, so I love that David O. Russell was able to accomplish that. He is able to reach out to those audiences and both connect with them emotionally and with humor.
This is what I believe to be true. You have to do everything you can. And if you stay positive, you have a shot at a silver lining.
Thank you to Jared, Laura, and Will for being with me today. Next up, we've got an exclusive look at the Hastings Museum Lead Super Screen Theater. Our producer, Sam Gentry, has the story.
The summer movie season is back in action, and big audiences are once again ready to line up for the big screen. But the Rivoli and the Imperial aren't the only theaters in town where you can purchase an admission ticket.
Bless me, Ultima.
The Hastings Museum Lead Super Screen offers audiences stadium seating, a 65-foot widescreen, a digital projector with 4K capabilities, and the latest in Real D 3D technology.
Size matters. It is a magnificent venue. The reason this is such a great theater for families is because even your 3-year-old has a good seat.
The theater was built in 1991 as an IMAX screen. The system was switched in 2001 to allow Hollywood-type films to play. The final upgrades took place in 2011 when the theater was upgraded to digital projection and 3D technology.
We were the first one in Nebraska. We were thrilled. This was really the only one between Denver and Chicago, and this was a win for the whole area, the Tri-City area.
Currently, the theater offers a wide array of content ranging from 3D educational entertainment, second-run blockbuster showings, and even filmed musical performances.
We're going to be able to bring in content that isn't at some of these other theaters, okay? The sound is amazing. That's why we're such a good match for symphony, opera, and these rock concerts.
For Campus Cinema, I'm Sam Gentry.
Thanks, Sam. Before we say adieu, let's look at what's playing in Hastings this weekend. With the opening of Iron Man 3, it's officially the start of the summer movie season. The film once again stars Robert Downey Jr. as the Marvel superhero, and this time around, he's facing off with his arch nemesis, the Mandarin.
I'm not afraid of you. No politics here. Just good old-fashioned revenge.
The Imperial will be showing Iron Man 3 in 2D and 3D. This isn't the last you'll hear of Tony Stark. Next Friday, we'll be going out in heroic fashion for our final episode. We'll be reviewing Iron Man 3. That's all, ladies and gents. Thanks for watching, and until next time, this is Campus Cinema.